do, and I want you to tell us, because I was sharing with you earlier that I don't want to talk about access to finance. I want to talk about accessibility. How accessible is that Alpha solution?
Thank you. Hello? Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Lori, and good morning, everyone. So, in Union Bank, our Alpha proposition is targeted at women-led businesses. Now, it covers all the spectrum of businesses that women are engaged in. Retail, SME, even commercial. So what the product does is source for funds, locally, internationally, at reasonable rates.
Right.
So that we are able to offer it to the women at discounted rates. So if MPR today is 26.25, if the going rate in the market is 30%, you can be sure that if you come to Union Bank under the Alpha program, you will get minimum 3-4% less than what the market is doing. It's just to help support women businesses and women-led businesses. Thank you. All
right. So when you say favorable, you now said 2-3% less. You understand maths now, ladies? So that's 26 minus 3-4. That's not, or what? Is before minus? 34. Okay.
So maybe I should clarify.
Clarify, sir. You're on the hot seat.
Yeah, no problem. Now, I mentioned that we source funds both locally and internationally. So, depending on the source of the funds, we'll price it adequately. So, if we're able to get funds at 5-10%, we'll make sure the margins we put for the cost, running cost, is not so much. So, you can still get funding at maybe not single digits, but early double digits, which is fantastic in the current rate regime.
Okay.
But you can be assured that under the Alpha program, you will get better than the market is getting. That is for
all
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter. Hi, Moses. How are you? How's it going? I'm sure they'll put you on soon. No, we can't, but I'm pretty sure the sound guys know that they can't.
It's on already.
Okay, good.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Doctor.
I know that Rank Capital is specifically for export and mini loans, if you will, as well. Can you tell me how, in recent times, have you found that accessibility of your funding solution, how accessible has it been for Rank Capital? Now, before I go on, tell us a little bit about what money does, and then how accessible is it?
All right, my name is Moses. Thank you very much, Doctor, and hi to the panelists. Yeah, so Hard Money, we are a fintech company, we are a technology company that provide financing, right, to not just traders doing the exports, right? We also provide financing to micro business owners, right? Both micro, small, medium enterprises. So we cover all sphere of financing, right? We also have savings and investments. So whatever business you are doing, we are happy to cover for you. Do you understand? And at Money, we also have something we say a lot. We love women. So we are women rapper here at Money. So if you are an entrepreneur and you're a woman, right, and you are dedicated to what you are doing, we're happy to finance you. We provide short-term financing basically for our micro businesses. So for our micro businesses, we do more of short-term financing, right? And
how short is short?
So 1 to 6 months.
Okay.
But for the exports trade, we do up to 12 months.
Okay.
Right, but for micro businesses, those in trade and production, right? I heard the testimony of the lady from Ilorin, right? If I'm not wrong. I'm inspired by that. Those are the kind of stories that we love to be involved in, people like that. If you can check some of our online some of the things we post on our platforms, right? You see some of the testimonies from these women. They are not testimonies that are packaged. They are real testimonies from women that have impacted in Ibadan, in Ilisha, in Ife, right? So those areas, we are not in Ilorin yet, but we are coming to Ilorin very soon, I can assure you. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Because I know that credit accessibility, I mean, you've assessed it yourself, but like you rightly said, that there are people who can testify to what you guys do at Money. Because I know in depth what Money does, I will urge any woman in trade to approach Rank Capital. They're just there by the entrance, and have a chat with them, because you are single digit, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yes, they are single digits, but they are short term. That's the drawback, all right? Unlike maybe the banks and co. But I want to go to something that Ade said in her testimonial about how her personal finance journey, took her into business finance. And I was saying it earlier that it's really a key word, management. Business management, your time management, your personal finance management, everything trickles down. And financial literacy, to me, is the bedrock of a lot of the conversation we're having today. I realized 2 years ago that I was financially illiterate, not 2 years ago, 2018, that I was financially illiterate. I went for a deal room conversation. How many of you have been to a deal room before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Deal rooms are hot. Don't go unprepared. And I went unprepared, and it showed in the way I was articulating my numbers. So I want to ask Coach Shola, I know you coach hundreds of people in financial literacy. How important is it when it comes to doing business and also our own personal finance as women?
All right, thank you. So I like this phrase that I caught from my mentor, a couple of years ago. And she said, if you work at home, then export it. And I'll apply that to the world of business finance. You see, I consult for a lot of businesses owned by women, owned by men. And a lot of business owners don't realize that, first of all, the reason you are in business is to make money. And not just money, to make profit. So many of us have for-profit businesses, but like Olori has been saying since yesterday, we are all about the branding, we are all about the passion, we are all about all of those things. Leaving the most fundamental thing, which is the money, which is the profitability. If you are not making money in your business, then you are not doing business. You could just go and register a not-for-profit. So if you are doing business, let's do business and let's make money. Now, the reason I laid that foundation is because many of us just do our business out of passion and we forget that important factor. Now, how does personal financial literacy affect your business? If you have not been able to cultivate the right habits, financial habits with your personal finance, it will most likely cascade into how you manage your business finance. I see business owners, I was at a conference a couple of years ago, and a particular bank was going to give 5 billion naira, was it a grant or loan, to a lot of women. Even me, I was interested. So I was part of the panel of judges. So I asked the bank, I said, what is the criteria? Because you could judge that there were a lot of applicants. And they said the first thing they were going to do was to judge and assess the participants by their bank statements, their business bank statements. And true to our word, on bank statements, business bank statements, you would see extension, Pepe, SPA in your business bank statement. What is it doing there? And the lady said, listen, if we see a rush of ATM withdrawals in your bank statement, you are disqualified. And I said, can't you do withdrawals as a company? And she said, would a mobile, would a Cadbury have ATM withdrawals? So if you are building a world-class business, then put the structure. But you can't put the structure if you have not mastered the art of financial literacy as an individual. So you need personal financial literacy first of all, and then business literacy. Those little things that you do with your personal finance. And by the way, a lot of business owners have not mastered the art of separating their personal finance from their business finance. I am not saying that your business is not the one paying for all your needs, but put yourself on a salary. But back to personal financial literacy, master, the art of, this is what is coming in, this is what is going out. Discipline yourself. Practice delayed gratification. Write out what you spend. Use apps. Use whatever, Google Sheets to help you. When you're able to do that at your personal financial level, then it will happen at your business. If you're here, you're struggling with your business finance, take a look at your own personal finance and you will see the reason you're struggling. So when it works with your personal finance, export it to your business finance. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. Peter, what does Union Bank offer exporters? Is there a facility that you guys offer exporters specifically? And if yes, how do you help with receivables and payables for international transactions? How does that work? Because to your proceeds. I don't understand. So how do they want the exporter to do further business? What does Union Bank do in this case?
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Might want to put it a bit more.
at Union Bank, we have a very
Okay.
at Union Bank because aside the product you're producing that you want to sell, there are a lot of intricacies, regulatory, NEPC, NXP, a whole lot of works. So we start from the advisory, show you the ropes, and if we need to help you cross the hurdles at the regulatory side, we'll help you with that. Obviously, it is expected that you know who you're exporting to, so the business side of it, we won't really get involved, even though we have opportunities where we call our customers together, discuss things, bring various people from the importer side across the globes. And then when you export, we follow through, whether it's through bills for collection or payment in advance or letters of credit that you export on. We follow through, get your funds certified to central bank, and then work with our treasury team to give you the best rate for conversion. You know, under the regulatory framework, export proceeds can either be used for official import business or you sell it to the bank.
Yes.
So what we do is work with you, work with the treasury, and make sure you get the best rates for your proceeds. Now, on the funding side, of course, I don't want to limit it to only exports, right? So we have, and we are talking to SMEs here.
Yes.
We have specific SME products to support our clients.
Mm-hmm.
One very interesting one, and I'm sure a lot of people will be surprised, is cash flow lending.
So is it like a stopgap lending for those who, how does it work?
So cash flow lending does not require collaterals.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people struggle with providing collaterals for loans.
Mm-hmm.
In the first instance, you know that trade finance loans are working capital loans,
Yeah,
so
short-term, yeah.
maximum 1 year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cash flow loans is, we analyze your bank statement,
Yep.
which reiterates what she said about financial literacy. Look, if you don't keep records of your sales and it reflects in what is in your bank statement, you will have a problem accessing funds from the bank. So it is important that there's a lot of focus on keeping appropriate records. Records in the bank and, depending on whatever you're using, whether inventory, books or computer, you need to keep proper records so that when you are going to the bank, you say, look at my records. Now, the cash flow lending helps you so the bank sees in the past 6 months, 9 months, you have been selling and look at the cash you've been getting. On the basis of that, we give you unsecured lending, which will now increase what you're doing. So whether it's for local trade or for exports, we will support you.
Peter, just quickly, what's the maximum you lend in that one for cash flow?
Depending on your cash flow, we can give you as much as 50.
50 million?
Yes.
See how bankers just say 50, like he expected me to do 50. I love it. I get it too. I'm going to put you on the spot now, Moses.
Okay.
I have a very amazing group within our amazing group from Ikeja,
All right.
local government. Iyaloja celebrates you.
Wow.
Iyaloja represents, and her good people, they're all here from Ikeja local government area. They have a peculiar, but to me, a very simple problem. Microloans.
Okay.
Based on what you said about what money can do, can you tell them, looking at them, what can you do for them today?
All right. So, Iyaloja, at money, your major focus, right? And we're happy to do business with you.
We can't hear you, sir. Please use
So
the
I'm
mic.
saying, Iyaloja, can you hear me? If others can't hear me, if you can hear me, I'm okay with it, though. Right? But for the benefit of everybody, all right, it's just kidding, right? So at money, right, you are one of our major focus. The reason why why money was set up initially, right, was to empower small scale, entrepreneurs, right? These microloans to empower women. That's why Rank Capital started in the first place, right? We have just grown because of the impact that we have made. That's what has engineered our growth over the last 4 years, right? So as much as we give big loans we give as little as 50,000, 100,000 to those people who need it, right? So for us, it's just being able to handle the risk, right? Do you have a business? Do you have cash flow? Even if you don't have a physical store, it's possible you are doing your businesses online, but can we track your transactions through your statement of accounts? Those are the basic things that we look out for. So
Sorry,
that
Moses, I have to come in. I'm sorry. Iyaloja, celebrate you. Do you have what he's asking for? This statement of accounts. Do you have it, ma?
Okay, but do you have a physical store?
Do you have a physical store?
Shop.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And you keep record of your daily sales.
Okay, so let me help you, Moses.
Okay.
Iyaloja, I've done the introduction. You can continue the conversation. All right, offline, all right? But I did that because I have 21 questions, but they didn't make sense to me when I looked at it again. Like, is English, a lot of English. I really want us to be able to go home with our solutions. So in the last 7 minutes that I have, I'm going to be taking questions that will be directed at the panelists. And I really want you to ask questions based on your new knowledge. Money is not the problem.
Exactly.
I keep saying that, and I mean it because I know. All right, let's take some questions. I don't want to put a cap on it because I don't know how they will go. How can my
Because there is not any of the banks that have said that they gave a non-collateralized.
Around 10 million or thereabout. I said, what? A small business owner, how do I go in? How do I go about that? Because I really need this. This money for my business. Because it's so.
From Jos, Plateau State. My question is to
the bank?
Yes, the bank. When I heard about the cash flow lending, I think I once heard about it somewhere, other bank, not Union Bank. But I want to ask precisely for that of Union Bank, at what percentage of one's cash flow
Do you
can
borrow?
be accessed? At what percent? Like, let's take for example, I have a per annum of like 30 million. To what extent of that can I access? And what is the rate? Is it a single digit or?
Okay.
And to what? Thank
So,
you.
sir, did you come in from Plateau State?
Yes, from Jos.
Wow. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. I am Noye Gudobi, and I'm the creative director for Nonistics. It's a Nigerian clothing brand, and I am not into product manufacturing per se, so my own case is different. But my business also requires me, in light of what has been discussed from yesterday. So I'm scaling my business, putting my items in stores in New York and other fashion capitals of the world, Paris, and it requires money. I do some myself, but I'm at that stage where I need to borrow.
Yep.
You know, and it's in dollars that I pay for these things, because if you're storing in those stores, you need to pay a kind of cost for them to carry your goods. Now my question, Mr. Union Bank.
It's like all the questions that were.
Would your bank support me with such funding? The interest rate you mentioned, I don't know if I'm speaking for all of us, at 20-something% is, for lack of any other word to use, CRAZY, for us at the level of our businesses, is so high. It's like lending to us at commercial rates. And I want to expect that you said you have an alpha product. And for that alpha product, I'm expecting that you're on lending to us from funds you have sourced internationally and from development finance institutions. And those funds come at a very low rate because most of the risk is already taken by the development finance institutions. Why are you lending to small businesses at such high rates? One. Two, Mr. Money, you are a fintech. And when you spoke, you said you give single-digit interest rate. And that's very misleading to many people here who might not be financially literate. You are not lending at single-digit interest. If you are taking interest at 4.5% per month, you are effectively paying over 60% per annum. That's what you are paying. How does that help businesses like ours? So my question here is, as you try to give us what your products are for us, it would be nice to be very transparent, so that when we are coming to you, we're coming to you from the basis of knowledge, and we know what we expect. Thank you.
Very good question.
All right. Peter, let me just give you water to drink first. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So, unfortunately, I didn't have my notepad here to write down. I believe I will remember all of them. So, wonder. Okay, is it better now? Okay, this is better.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You know, like Barrister Wolo said yesterday, my mother trained me, so I'm comfortable around women. I'm not intimidated at all. Okay, so sir, on the issue of collateral register, if at all we would, well, we're not here to apportion blames, but if at all we were to apportion it, it will not go to the banks. And I tell you why. The banks will use information from that register. So that register is supposed to be a public register, not manned by the banks, but banks will feed off it. Just like today, we have credit bureau agencies where people that have non-performing loans, they have a repository there. It's not managed by banks. Banks pay money, some kind of fee, to access information from that register. Likewise, that is how the collateral register is supposed to work. That is at the general level. I don't have specific information on maybe why it is not as vibrant as it should be, even if it is like the credit bureau side. But maybe I will get more specific information on that, and maybe if there's one or two things we can add to make it more functional, maybe we'll do that. But I'm happy with your pointing it out, so that, because it will help banks. You won't have to be chasing around customers, bring this collateral, house in Ikoyi, house in Bagada and stuff like that. You just go there, get the information, maybe lock it down that this collateral, there is a lien on this particular amount which covers your loan, and you move on. It makes life easier for banks. But that bureau is not run by banks, and I think I'll work with my credit people to find out what's going on there. Thank you, sir. I hope I tried to. Okay. Yeah. Second one, well, the lady that couldn't access the credit from her bank, maybe after this panel we could see, let me know what they requested from you, what you provided or what you can provide. Then maybe I'll connect you with our Alpha team and see how we can support you. So after the panel we can talk. Yeah? Okay. The third, my man in jacket, you've had non-collateralized loan, cash flow loan. So you, like I mentioned, your cash flow be analyzed, and on the basis of that, they will now make you an offer. There are certain things they consider: how long you've been doing the business, which of course will reflect on your account statement, and like what she said earlier, the kind of things happening in your account, whether you're using it to pay for DSTV or you're using it to, or you're specifically using it for business. So some of those things will come into play. So while you could say, as a matter of principle, you could get about 40 to 50% of your turnover in loans, but it's not vanilla like that. This other consideration will come in to know exactly how much will be given to you. I hope I try to. Yeah, that is. I can't give you a rate now. You know the rate environment is very high, so and you are not going to be under alpha because you're a man. So we can also have a chat after the panel. Finally, to non-istic. You're correct. We source for funds locally, globally, and we try to, because we are deliberate about helping women and women-led businesses. We look for as cheap as it can go in getting the funds, which is why I am certain that we can support you. So not just support you at a very reasonable price. I can assure you that if we source funds at 5%, we won't give you at 10%. The same funds, because don't also forget the people giving us these funds, because they are targeted funds for certain behaviors. They also have agreements with us to ensure that we don't overindulge ourselves and make so much money out of it and then lose the impact they are trying to create. So I can assure you we can support. So let's have a chat so I can get you with our Alpha team, and then we'll take it off from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On that note, we've run out of time, but relax now. All other conversations can happen at the individual booths, but I will say this, that in terms of the general financial system in Nigeria isn't enabling SMEs at the moment. So we do call on, whether it's the central bank and other bodies that are responsible for the ease of doing business to help us in the way that we're able to access credit and other financing services in Nigeria. On that note, I'd like to thank my panelists, Moses, Mr. Peter, and Mrs. Shola Adeshaki for joining me. A round of applause, please.